In 1881, he left Calcutta. He first went to Benares or Varanasi, the heart of religious Hindustan. Holy its air, holy the very dust of the city of Shiva. In the temple of Vishwanath, he glimpsed eternal India, ageless, the same forever. They come from all over the country, speaking different languages, following different customs. Here, the Swami could feel the source of Indian unity, the unity of culture and religion, her wide toleration and deep understanding of the ways of the spirit. Sometimes in the evening, the young Swami would sit here on the river ghat. And his mind would go back to Dakshineshwar and his master. He also paid a visit to Ajodhya, sacred city of Rama, and Vrindavan, city of Krishna. Pushkar, the legendary birthplace of Brahma himself. Rishikesh, land of ascetics and spiritual seeking down the ages.
Yasya samudram rasaya sahahu, yasya mahapradisho yasya bahu, kashmai devaya havisha vidhema.
He saw the exquisite paintings of Ajanta, the rock-cut temples and sculpture of Ellora, the Buddhist stupa at Sanchi, the shrines of Bhuvaneshwar, the famous Sun Temple of Konark, and he felt within himself the imperishable heritage of India, mighty voices of silence whispering their deathless enchantment. From all these, he drew fresh inspiration. Hastinapur or Delhi, where the fate of so many empires has been decided at one time or the other, rich in Mughal remains, forts, turrets, mosques, palaces, the splendor of its architecture impressed the Swami. Taj Mahal, splendid symbol of the love of Shah Jahan for his beloved Mumtaz Mahal, a lover's gift, a poem in marble. He visited Fatehpur Sikri, the dream city of Akbar, where the emperor had nursed hopes of a universal faith in Din Ilahi. Rajasthan, the land of chivalry and heroism. Its capital, Jaipur, is the first planned city of India. In this city, Swamiji stayed for months to take lessons in Panini from the Pandit of the royal court. The fort at Amer, a landmark in medieval history. Chittor, forever associated with Rana Pratap's defense of the motherland, with the fatal beauty of Padmini and her fire ordeal, and the matchless devotion of Mirabai, the Saint Queen of India. Famed lake city of Udaipur, proud relic of resistance and martyrdom of the Rajputs and their sense of beauty and bravery. A splendid past indeed. But India today was more like a ruin. Today she lived in miserable huts and holes, in city slums. The glories of the past meant nothing to these people. They were at best memory's mockery, a consolation prize for cards and do-nothing. Everywhere he saw the plight of the masses of India, despised by priests, oppressed by heartless landlords, exploited by generations of money-lenders. Every year, the flood came. Everywhere, people were dying of poverty, of famine and flood. The nation had been reduced to rags, no hope anywhere, while only a few enjoyed the good things of life. Not a moment of his waking life when he did not think of his poor countryfolk and of what man had made of man. It was not merely lip sympathy. He lived with them and found spiritual treasures in their midst. He slept in stables where no gentleman ever set his foot. He lived on the pallets of beggars, sharing their life. The words of his master came back to him again and again. Religion is not for the empty bellies. And he himself later said,
What have we done for the masses? Teaching them metaphysics? It is mockery to offer religion to a starving man.
With this picture of the oppressed masses burning in his heart, the Swami came across the rulers of the Indian states, the native princes. In the course of his travels, he met the Raja Ajit Singh of Khetri, the Maharaja Mangal Singh of Alwar, the Maharaja Chamarajendra Vadiyar of Mysore, and the Raja Bhaskar Setupati of Ramnad, and many others. He believed that if these people, placed in positions of advantage, took up the cause of India and her starving masses, the country's progress could be hastened. He always reminded the rulers of their duty towards the people. There was something about the youthful Swami, and they listened. They who were given more to command than to listen. In his conversation with the Maharaja of Mysore, he had said,
You are only the custodian of God's property. You should use it only for the benefit of God's children, that is, the people.
The Maharaja of Mysore was inspired to introduce necessary reforms in his state. These encounters were not without their dramatic moments. Once in Alwar, the Maharaja Mangal Singh met him at the residence of his Diwan. The Maharaja was in a somewhat merry mood, and perhaps, to tease the Swami, he said, with a smile, You see, Babaji Maharaj, my forefathers built many temples, but I do not have any faith in those idols of stone or metal. The eyes of all present were fixed on the Swami. What would he say? He asked a counter-question, harmless enough to begin with.
Diwanji Sahib, whose picture is that on the wall, please?
The Diwan replied, It is the likeness of the Maharaja, Swamiji.
Please bring down the picture, will you?
And the picture was brought down.
Now spit on that picture, Diwanji. What is it, Diwanji? But a piece of paper? Why can't you spit upon it? I say, spit. Spit upon it. Any one of you may spit upon it.
What are you asking me, Swamiji? It is the likeness of our Maharaja. Don't you know that?
But surely the Maharaja is not bodily present in the picture. It does not contain his flesh, blood, and bone. It is, after all, an idol or an image. Yet you respect it as if it is your Maharaja himself. Isn't that so, Diwanji?
Yes. Yes, Swamiji. That is so.
See, Your Highness, though the picture is not you in one sense, in another sense, it is you. They all look upon this picture with as much respect as they would upon your person. So, when men worship the image of God in stone or metal, they do not say or think, O stone, I worship thee. O metal, be merciful. They worship the divinity inherent or represented in these forms.
The Maharaja admitted, Swamiji, you have opened my eyes. Forgive me that I ever spoke to you like that. Forgive me. Such was the Swami's unconventional method of bringing a great truth home. But the Swami never stayed at one place for long. No Parivrajika ever does. He traveled through deserts, forests, and mountains, and vast fields. He learned a thing or two as he went along.
This is Khetri House in Jaipur, where a little dancing girl taught him a lesson in humility and understanding. In his honor, the Maharaja of Khetri had arranged a song and dance recital.
The gathering, including the Maharaja, was waiting for the Swami. One of the courtiers had been sent to bring him. As the officer conveyed the invitation, the Swami said,
It is quite unbecoming for a sannyasi to attend the performance of a dancing girl.
When she learnt what the Swami had said, the girl was deeply hurt. Overwhelmed by emotion, she soon started to sing a bhajan by Surdas. She has never sung like that before.
As the song ended, she looked up and bowed down before the presence which her song evoked. Swami's reserve was broken. He spoke to the girl with humility and admiration.
Mother, I beg you to forgive me. You have opened my eyes.
After a brief stay in Rajasthan, he resumed his journey. Now he proceeded towards the south by way of Gujarat and Maharashtra. He traveled in day and night till he reached the Meenakshi temple of Madura, eloquent of the faith of the people and Dravidian architecture. And further beyond to famed Kanyakumari, the Virgin Goddess and her temple. There he prostrated himself before the goddess. After a time he came out to the sea beach, where the waves tossed and tumbled. But a greater tempest was going on in his mind. He looked at the rock, the last jutting point yonder into the sea, and swiftly swam across the waters, and soon reached the rock that now bears his name, Vivekananda Rock. There the panorama of Indian life and history flashed through his mind, a record of glory and shame, of past splendor and present wretchedness. The whole of India passes before his eyes. India, right from the ideal kingdom of Rama, Sri Krishna at Kurukshetra, the penance of Buddha, Emperor Ashoka, the ancient University of Nalanda, Shankaracharya, Guru Nanak, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then the foreign invaders, the Huns, the Mongols, the Portuguese, the Battle of Plassey, and the English. A long, dark age of foreign domination. The vision of India was not without a meaning. There was work for him to do, not merely to contemplate the unchanging and the everlasting. The present called him urgently. It was not religion that had been the cause of the country's downfall. Indeed, true religion was nowhere being followed. how to raise the nation, the once mighty nation, the nation that still dared to dream of God and Godward ways. He raised his eyes to the ocean. The image of his master floated back, giving him new hope and a sense of direction. He would appeal to the world on behalf of India. He would go to America. The East and the West, the new and the old, must know each other and help each other. Another chapter was opening in his and the world's history. On May the 31st, 1893, the Swami sailed for America by way of the Pacific. But he had no fixed idea or program. It was a leap into the unknown. He had heard vaguely about a parliament of world religions to be opened someday somewhere in America. He sailed by way of Ceylon, Penang, Singapore, Hong Kong, Nagasaki, Kobe, and then traveled by land to Yokohama to board the ship again. Artistic and industrial Japan impressed him. Inspired by the example of this newly awakened Asian country, he wrote to his friends and disciples in Madras.
Come out of your narrow holes and see how the nations are on the march. India wants the sacrifice of her young men, mind you, not brutes. Sympathy for the poor, bread for the hungry mouths, enlightenment for the people at large, and struggle unto death to make men of those who have been brought to the level of beasts by the tyranny of your forefathers.